carried. Thank you very much. Now we move to the public forum. So today we've got the Inner City Collaborative Action Group. So we've got Sergeant Roy Appleby and Sylvia. So welcome. Thank you very much for coming in. There's been a huge amount of work to do in the central city, and it's been going really well from what I hear. So getting an update would be great. Thanks.
Okay, good morning. Sean Stockman is the chair of the group, and he was intending to be here this morning, but he sends his apologies, so Roy and I are here in his absence. We're here to represent the Inner City Collaborative Action Group. Formed back in June, this group has 4 partners: the Central City Business Association, Christchurch City Mission, Police and Council, all working together to understand issues in the Central City associated with antisocial behaviour, homelessness and begging. The group works towards long-term solutions to support these people and recognises that more can be achieved working together. The group have put together 2 messages to the public that Council has released through Newsline. The first in early November highlighted that fewer than 10 people are genuinely sleeping rough within the Central City. The second message was released yesterday, encouraging the public to donate to social agencies rather than giving directly to those asking for money. Christchurch City Mission is leading an inner city social services network to bring together an integrated provision of support, and a community Kai initiative ensures that food is available to those in need.
So good morning everyone. My name's Roy Appleby, not Appleby, and I'm a Senior Sergeant of Police, but that's not exactly why I'm here in the police role, but just as a representative of the group. Just as a way of raising some awareness, this issue came about because the Christchurch City Council and police have received numerous reports regarding homeless people causing issues in the central business district. Reports have been made about their drug use, their behaviour and their general disorder. Analysis has been conducted for what we call our area tasking coordination meeting, which is around how we deploy our people in the police to identify the issues that are occurring and to provide recommendations as to how we move forward. As a result of that, we've identified that there are a number of places of particular concern: Hereford Street, the Bus Exchange, New Regent Street and the City Mall, particularly outside Ballantyne's shopping area. As a way of analysing further what's actually going on, we're undertaking a SARA problem-solving exercise, which is an internationally renowned problem-solving exercise to identify the real issues, because while we might think it's, as we've termed it, homelessness, we actually now realise that homelessness is not really the key driver of the problem. And while we might have some ideas of what are the key drivers of the problem, to actually analyse what the real needs are is the only way we'll get a sustainable solution going forward, and that will take some time. So the overall goal is actually improvement in lives of the cohort who we're talking about, and a safer city for all of us as a result.
So this work is considered long term, and the group looks to update Council on progress in the future.
That's great. Thank you very much. Do we have any questions from councillors? Pauline.
I found that comment really interesting to say that homelessness is not the problem. So there's another problem underlying that causes homelessness and then causes these problems. Is that what you're saying?
Not necessarily. Well, when we first looked at the issue, it was generally termed that these issues, the antisocial issues, if you like, were being caused by homeless people, because what was evident were people sleeping outside of shops, effectively. But actually that's not the issue. Most of those people, even the ones that are sleeping, what we see as sleeping outside shops, actually arrive there early in the morning and set up a camp, as opposed to spending all night there. That's not to say there aren't some, as Sylvia has identified, but the real issue is the fact that they're coming in there for a reason, and while we might have some ideas around what that is, some of it's to do with begging, some of it's to do with poor mental health and the need for some sort of socialisation. That's what we're not 100% sure what's driving people coming in there, and then the subsequent behaviours. But we are reasonably convinced that it's not homelessness per se.
Right, so some of them may be homeless, but not all of them are homeless, and the reasons they're in there is not because they're homeless.
It doesn't seem so, and the only thing I can point to that supports that at the moment is that during the last lockdown event, we actually housed with Ministry of Social Development some of the about 3 people, and the very next day they left their motel, which they were able to be at for quite some time, and they were back in the central city because they preferred it. So obviously there's some underlying social issues there that mean that these folks are not able to cope in the situation, in a normal living situation, perhaps.
Yeah, thanks, Yanni.
Thank you. Thank you for the work that you're doing. Do you think there's a need for a central place for people to go in the inner city? Like we used to have the street, I think it was Street 10. There used to be a place down Liverpool Street where it was like a drop-in centre with different services provided.
I think we need to do more to understand the issues to then work out what the solutions to that are going to be. It may be that is one of the solutions, but I think we need to understand a bit more yet.
Right. And just when you say inner city, how far do you go? Do you go to Stanmore Road?
So for the purposes of the work we've done thus far, it's the area bordered by the 4 avenues,
Right.
but we've already noticed that there is some manifestation in the closest part of Riccarton and also the Phillipstown area, as you've alluded to.
Yeah.
But even then, we've had reports of some of these folks as far out as Barrington.
Right.
So we haven't excluded anything at this stage,
Okay.
but we are trying to focus on the inner city, perhaps to see what we can achieve there first.
Okay. I guess I was just concerned that you displace it to adjacent neighbourhoods and there's not the resources there to deal with the problem. So I'm really keen that, as you said, focus on what's causing it and address from a wellbeing point of view.
So the importance of the problem-solving exercise is about scanning, so really understanding what the problem is, looking into why the problem is the way it is and what needs to be done before we get to any responses, which is the third phase. Because otherwise that is the danger, that we'll just move them from here and think that we've done a good job, but actually now we've got another problem somewhere else, or the same problem somewhere else.
Cool. Thank you.
That's great. Thank you so much for coming in. And I know that we'd appreciate another update, maybe partway through next year would be really good. And I hope it all goes well over the holiday period and over summer.
So just to finish off, the council have been fantastic as a support partner to this group, and even that extends to the Mayor's Welfare Fund and the vouchers we've received. So all of that work all of that provision is very, very helpful in this work. So congratulations for doing that, and I've reported well on that once before, and I'll do so again in the early new year as well.
That'd be lovely. Thanks so much.
Okay,
Thank
we'll
you.
definitely come back next year.
Right, we have no